Part 2, Chapter 11. All of Aindra's years of Sankirtan, Japa, deity worship, preaching, bruts, shastric study, even his book distribution, had been imbued with his urgent desire to understand his eternal relationship with Radha and Krishna. Quote, the basic unconditional service attitude practiced at the very onset of a novice's humble surrender to the Acharya's external missionary training program, he later wrote, may be easily adapted and internally applied at a more mature stage to fittingly promote the true cognitive, esoteric evolvement of one's eternal, constitutional Brajaswarup. Okay, so we are not this body, he'd say. Then who are we? Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Every living entity is constitutionally an eternal servant of Krishna, but that's not enough. Quote, he was probing in a period of his aspiration where he was really wanting to realize his eternal identity, Ram Roy remembered, and he was in great anxiety about it all the time. Quote, what would be the use of it all, Aindra wrote, if we could not become factually freed from the insanity of not clearly knowing who we really are in terms of the intricacies of our ultimate, intrinsic, eternal spiritual identity? This was not merely a selfish search for personal spiritual advancement, he wrote. Quote, the internally perfected realization of one's eternal spiritual identity would immensely enhance one's preaching proficiency and efficacy. Ultimately, the success of such an endeavor was dependent on one's attachment and surrender to the holy name. Quote, if we seriously want to go well beyond the bodily concept of life, to realize the highest constitutional spiritual identity of the self, Brajaswarup, then we would do very well to set all worldly considerations aside, take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and do more Harinam Sankirtan. In 1993, striving for further realization, which he knew could come from only Srila Prabhupada, Aindra engaged in Ajagar Vritti, the Python's vow, as had been practiced by Madhavendra Puri and by Bilvamangal Thakur, to make no endeavor to eat, but to rely on the grace of his spiritual master and accept only what was offered to him without request. Quote, let my Guru Maharaj reveal this knowledge to me, he said. If not, there is no reason for me to live. He continued to offer bhoga to his deities, but without telling anyone, he distributed all their prasadam to other devotees and ate only every few days, and only when something was given without him asking. He was determined to fast until either Prabhupada granted the knowledge he so desperately desired, or his body wasted away. Quote, will my Guru kindly reciprocate, he asked. Will he show me the mercy? Without it, he said, he saw no reason to live. He followed the vrat strictly for a couple months, but his body weakened, and one morning when devotees went to see him, there was no reply to their calls. Quote, we kept knocking, Raseshwar recounted, but he wouldn't answer, so we broke the door open and found him on the floor, pale and semi-conscious. We took him to the hospital, and they put him on a drip. Quote, if you had found him just a little later, the doctor said, he wouldn't have survived. After Aindra's Ajagara Vritti, his dreams reached another level of revelation. Even though, quote, such things are basically unverifiable subjective experiences, he had said, if they are in keeping with the Siddhanta of our Acharyas, they may be accepted for inspiration, encouragement, and even guidance. The dreams were nourished by Aindra's years of dedication to japa and kirtan, both of which deepened his relationships with Srila Prabhupada, the deities, and the holy name. Quote, Srila Prabhupada has appeared numerous times in my dreams and given me so many instructions regarding the progress of my spiritual life, he said. Whether that's actually Prabhupada coming in my dreams, or whether it is Antaryami manifesting within the mental quantum by manipulation of the subtle energies in the form of the Acharya Swarup of Srila Prabhupada, whom I accept as the authority of my spiritual life, and speaking through that Acharya Swarup a message that Antaryami, whom that Acharya is representing anyway, wants to relate to me a message. So many instructions he has spoken to me in the dreams, which I keep as my life and soul. During one period of especially lucid dreams, quote, I was looking so much more forward to being asleep than being awake, because I was getting so much more enlightenment in my dreams than I was during the time I was awake. The dreams in which Srila Prabhupada appeared, quote, profoundly increased my fervent attachment to his lotus feet. During one, Prabhupada told Aindra, quote, you are not qualified to worship Giriraj. This is the highest type of worship, and you have no qualification for that. What do you mean? Aindra asked. What should be done to be qualified? Still in the dream, he began weeping. Quote, I just want to be a new devotee with no position or conceptions about himself. Now you are qualified, Prabhupada replied. Aindra yearned for a revelation of his spiritual identity. When, he wrote, by a flood of unprecedented tender-heartedness, will the cowherd girls of Vrindavan bestow upon this wretched person the most blessed birth within the cowherd community of Varshana? When, by the mercy of my beloved Guru, will I appear as a resplendently delightful young damsel of Braja? Srila Prabhupada had said that the Guru revealed a disciple's siddha deha when the time was right. How to qualify? Who will give? One devotee asked. Guru will give, Prabhupada replied. You just chant Hare Krishna. The revelation did not even have to come in the Guru's physical presence. Quote, Guru will give. There is no material consideration about Guru is here or there. When you reach that level, Guru will give. Some months after he completed his vrat, Aindra had a series of dreams revealing the information he'd been seeking. Most often it came from Srila Prabhupada, once from an old woman whom Aindra took to be Purnamasi Devi, identified in Srila Rupa Goswami's Sri Radhakrishna Gunadesh Deepika as, quote, the incarnation of the Lord's Yogamaya potency, who arranges for the performance of Krishna's pastimes. Finally, in one dream, Aindra disclosed, you are a follower of Ananga Manjari. Few devotees spoke about Ananga Manjari, a Shakti expansion of Lord Balaram, and Radharani's younger sister, who in Gaur Leela appeared as Nityananda's wife, Janava Devi. So Aindra searched out any information he could find, but he didn't have to look far. In his song, Kabe Mor Subadina Hoibe Udoy, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Bhaktivinod's incessant longing is for the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Ananga Manjari. In Haha Mora Goda Kishore, that, quote, the merciful Ananga Manjari, catching the hands of this maidservant, will take me to offer me in devotion unto Sri Sri Radha Madhava, and my eyes will be brimming with pleasure to behold the beauty and sweetness of them both. He was so serious in his study of Ramachandra Goswami's Anangamanjari Samputika that in addition to tracking down an English translation from the Bengali, he commissioned another so that nothing was left out or mistranslated. Along with his extensive japa, kirtan, and strict spiritual practice, Aindra's dreams and revelations continued unabated, and with further study of works such as Prabodhananda Saraswati's Radharasa Sudhanidhi, Raghunath Das Goswami's Vilap Kushmanjali, and other writings by Vaishnavacharyas, he came to understand how his internal aspirations were in accord with Anangamanjari's bhav. In her faithful service to Srimati Radharani, and under Radharani's shelter, with her express permission, and for her supreme pleasure, she also had direct association with Krishna. And in that same mood, on the altar, Aindra dressed Shyamasundar, serving him in service to Radha. Quote, "For the pleasure of Srimati Radharani, I am giving pleasure to Shyam. For the pleasure of Radharani, I am soothing the limbs of love-tired Sri Krishna." They sported the whole night, and when it is time to rise during Mangalartik, his limbs are so tired, and their ornaments are entangled. So for the pleasure of Srimati Radharani, to give her ultimate pleasure, I am serving Shyam. Radharani is the queen of my heart, and Krishna is the treasure of my heart. Radharani can give you the treasure. You can't take it by yourself. She is my queen, and I serve her, and she gives me the treasure. That's Shyam. Quote, according to the Acharyas, he related, Anangamanjari, whom he thenceforth worshipped as his Guru Rupa Sakhi, his spiritual master in the eternal Manjari form, is even considered to be a virtual second Radha, directly Radha, who is accepting the position of a maidservant of herself to relish the transcendental position of Dasi, Dasi, Anudasi.